BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BodyBags. It's week 210, and I'm your Sunday host, Bourgie86 here again. Yes, guys, as always, it's time for that Sunday review. Now, the film I got for you guys today is another Asian flick. Yes, I was getting back into the kick of like my Asian cult cinema. I'm a big fan of it, and you know that. And this is one I had in the collection for a while, and I wanted to check it out. And it's a film from 1991, and it kind of interested me from the cover. I actually got this during like a Hamilton book sale when they had it for really cheap. I think it was like $1 or something. It was really, really cheap, so I picked it up. And this one's released from Synapse Films, and it's titled Battle Girl, The Living Dead in Tokyo Bay. Yes, this film is directed by Kazuo Kazimo, and it stars Japanese wrestling sensation Cutie Suzuki, who's the main girl, the battle girl. Now, pretty much the main plot of this one, we're introduced to like our main setup with this meteorite crashes into Japan, and pretty much what happens is there's like this uprising and some violent upbringings of like these punk gangs end up ravaging the land. But also what ends up happening is like this mist takes over, and this mist comes out of this meteorite, and it starts bringing the dead back to life, of course. So what ends up happening is the town of Japan is in Bay, like in especially Tokyo. That's where the film takes place. There's a lot of like, and they're trying to get survivors out. And then we're introduced to our main character of Keiko, who's played by Cutie Suzuki, who's this young woman whose father is actually the colonel, and she ends up getting a message from her dad that he needs help from her to try to bring the survivors in, and she has like 20 hours to get to this location and complete her mission before they could carry on with the mission, pretty much. So she ends up finding this hunter unit squad, which is run by this captain who decided he's gonna use like the undead to his benefit and try to create like a superhuman zombie soldier, pretty much, as we see as the film progresses. So it's up to Keiko to try to stop this human hunter squad of these super zombie soldiers and try to save the survivors as she leads to the checkpoint to meet up with her father. That is pretty much the main plot of this one, without going too wild and crazy into it. Now, my thoughts on this. This was a very highly entertaining watch, I have to say. It's not perfect by any means, but it has like that charm and like over-the-topness like type of story that you expect from like a Noboru Gucci film or a Yoshiro Nishimura, like a Machine Girl or Tokyo Gore Police. But it's not as over-the-top, since the budget's not as wild and they can't go like crazy like with like shit, because they do use majority of practical effects in this film. It's not like over the top like Noboru Gucci, like cartoony CGI blood and stuff. The effects are pretty much practical, like gore and blood and puppetry, like dummy like hands and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome in that sense. There is one scene of like the meteor at the beginning. It's very CGI and very like early 90s like CGI type animation that they use in it. It's kind of like out of place and kind of outdated, that scene in particular. But other than that, I didn't have a problem with this film. There's like, especially with like when we were finding out like the dead are coming back to life. There's this great scene where like this news broadcast is going, and it's all in blue, and it's just a great shot because it has like the aesthetic of like this doomsday atmosphere that goes within that shot and what comes next, especially with like the zombies attacking and stuff. It's pretty interesting, and I do like Keiko as a character as she grows throughout the film. And the action's non-stop because this film only runs like 74 minutes. It's like an hour and 14 minutes long. So it's not like mind-blowingly like slow pace, because you get right into the action with this one. It's a super fun watch. I did like the other characters that interact, like the cheesy like captain who's trying to take over the world, and using his superpowers, has his own schemes. He's very cheesy, like villain-like character, but it makes sense for this type of film. And then we also introduced to the Battle Kids, which is like these group of punk rock looking kids that end up meeting with Keiko in the middle of the plot, and kind of foreplay and return in the middle of the plot, and they help her and continue with her journey, and they grow as characters and stuff. Really, really fun characters. And there's one, like I said, low budget as all hell, but it has some great practical gore effects and some awesome crazy fights, because not to get too into it, there's other subhuman super zombie battle zombies, pretty much is the way I would describe them, that are very human-like in looks and stuff, but they have super techniques and weapons and stuff, and each one has a different weapon. This is one that has a Wolverine claw, if that makes sense. If you've seen X-Men, Wolverine, and she has metal teeth, and it's fucking crazy. Whoa. And there's some goofy moments too in this one that aren't meant to be goofy, but they end up being goofy in this film. There's one scene in particular where Keiko throws a grenade and implants into a zombie's face, and it looks like a pancake. I'm like, what the fuck? But then the explosion after doesn't even make sense, because it's like a explosion from the behind and stuff. It doesn't make sense because the grenade's landed on the zombie's face, but it doesn't blow up in his face, pretty much is what I'm getting at. So it's kind of cheesy in that aspect, but it's a highly entertaining watch, I have to say. It's nothing too mind-blowing or serious. This is a film you kick back and just don't overthink, you know what I mean? It's one that you just watch and have fun with it. So Battle, Living Dead in Tokyo Bay, although not a perfect film, it's still a fun watch. If I had to rate, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's nothing too mind-blowing, and it has some great effects, especially for a low-budget film. So, yeah, 6.5 out of 10 for Battle, highly recommended, especially if you get it on the cheap. I think I paid $2 on Hamilton Books for this, but I think you can get it for that price in reasonable outposts and stores anywhere. So, yeah, check it out. Alright, guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll be back next week with another one, guys, for you. Peace out.